Hello guys, I'm Abithegreat1, and today we're going to be making a Sonic Games tier list in the Tier Maker website. So, let's get started. But before we do, I'd just like to say, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get on with it. Alright, so the first game we have is Sonic 1. Honestly, I don't mind this. It's an A tier game. It's got like pretty good level design for the most part. It was a pretty good start off to the series. I think this deserves A tier. Alright, next up is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, this game, it's really good. Like, it's pretty good to be honest. It's just I don't like the special stages, and because of that, it just has to go down to a B tier. Alright, next up is Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. Next up are Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But before that, we'll do Sonic CD. Which, Sonic CD I really don't mind, per se. It's just, yeah, it's just way too easy to 100%. I've actually beaten it, so it'll just be A tier. Alright, now for Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't see Sonic and Knuckles anywhere. But anyways, so Sonic 3 alone, I really feel like it's a D tier because the music isn't as good and stuff like that. You can't really play as Knuckles yet. Sonic and Knuckles, even though I don't see it on this list, I really love it. I think it's a solid A tier, but the games combined is an S tier in my opinion. Because of the fact that the level design is just amazing, and like the level design altogether, like not level design but the story. And also along with that, Sonic Jam, we're going a little out of order because of this. It's going to have to go in the C tier due to the fact that it's uh, I'm also creating a new tier. It's just, whoops. It's just mid. It's just the games. It's not really original in any way. So so it's really nothing much, just a C tier. Alright, next up in the list is also, yes, we are including the spin-off games. And not every Sonic game will be there, so I might make a part 2 to this. But anyways, the next game is Sonic Spinball. And I kind of like this game. It's mid, to be honest. I'd have to say it's just a C tier, really. What's this? Sonic Speed Simulator, I'm gonna guess. So, yeah, it's nothing much. Next up on the list is Sonic Adventure, which I absolutely love. I'm sure lots of people love this game. It's a solid S tier. Level design's amazing. Story's great. And that spin dash mechanic. You can't go wrong with that. Alright. Oh, I forgot a game. Sonic R. I always seem to forget where this mid game goes. I think it's the D tier. The racing just sucks. I'd much rather play either Mario Kart, which I have been getting into, or Team Sonic Racing even. But we'll get to Team Sonic Race. But we'll get to TSR later. Sonic Drift is I guess it's a F tier. I've never played it. And if Sonic Drift 2 is in there, I'm also putting it in F tier because it's mid. Alright, next up is Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. Now, Adventure 2, it has to go down to an A tier. The levels, well, yes, I love the story and level design. And those raps, bro. Like, with the Knuckles stages, the rap music. However, there are a few downsides, like the Emerald Hunt stages taking so goddamn long. Like, I really hate them. And the spin dash mechanic being fricked up. So, yeah. At least the PC version is better because you have mods, but I haven't played that in a while. And also, Sonic Adventure poses more iconic. Also, I'd like to take a bit of time to say a bit of a fun fact here. In Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, during the opening, when it introduces Sonic, you can actually see him do the same exact finger gun pose as he does in the original Sonic Adventure. Alright, back to the games list. Sonic Heroes, B tier. I like the idea of a 3-player mechanic. It's put in really well. It's just not you know. Also, yes, this list is a little outdated, so newer games like Frontiers might not be in there. Alright. Next up are the Sonic Advance games. Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3. I think Sonic Advance 1 is really good. A tier. A tier at best because it's not as fast-paced as Sonic Advance 2. I remember when I first played this game on an emulator, it was so much fun. It was like the first level was like so fast-paced, and that's the kind of thing I like in Sonic games. Now, Advance 3, I kinda like, I kinda don't. They sort of brought back the mechanic from Sonic 2 of like teaming up, but they made it like 10 times better. But they made it like a bit better. As you can like team up with cool duos like Sonic and Knuckles. Well, for that it'll just be a B tier. Whoops, that's A tier. B tier. Alright. Next up in the series is Battle and Pinball Party. Sonic Battle is S tier. It's just me. I like fighting games. And Pinball Party, D tier. It's just really bad. It's not. I'd rather play like Sonic Spinball than this. Alright. Alright, so now that those are out of the way, next up on the list is Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, to be honest, the game is mid. I don't mind it, but I don't like it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. So that's why it's just a B tier. No, C tier. Because of the guns thing and the swearing. Alright, next up on the list is the Sonic Rush. Now, here's a bit of a fun fact here. Sonic Rush and Shadow the Hedgehog released on the same exact day. Sonic Rush, I actually kind of like. It's an A tier game. Story's pretty good, even though I've never played through the whole thing. I think the bosses are pretty cool. Alright, next up and while I'm at it, I might as well just put Sonic Rush Adventure. I've never played it, but so for now I'm gonna say it's a C tier, assuming the game's even on this list. No, it's not. So, off to the infamous Sonic 06. While yes, the game is like hated on for the glitches and stuff, I honestly feel like it's still pretty good. Like it's got some good level design, and it even got a fan remake called Project 06. While that is 10 times better, I'm gonna say 06 isn't an F tier, but a C tier. Now, Sonic Unleashed. This masterpiece is an S tier. Level design's great, story's amazing. Like much like Adventure 1, it's like they just add new mechanics, including a werehog mechanic. That's just good. It's like really good. So let's take the time to put in Sonic Jump. Now I don't like this game. It's just too simple. And I think this is like Sonic Dash, and again, it's just too simple. Alright, next up on the list is Sonic Colors. I think Sonic Colors is pretty good, minus the level design. So points are taken off, so it's a B tier game at best. Now we get into a game or two games. Also, nope, two games that suck. While one of them isn't on the list, it's the Sonic 4 franchise. And even if it was, they would both go in. Sonic 4 Episode 1 would have gone in F tier for being just awful. It had like, it's just like the physics, it's just weird. It's just dumb. Now I did miss a few games, so I'm going to go back to them right now. The Sonic Riders franchise. I think the first one's pretty solid, so A tier. Second one's mid, I guess. Never played it, but I've like heard of it, and it's just one down. And Free Riders, I hear, is like really bad, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Next up is Sonic and the Black Knight, which I actually really like. It's a lot of fun to play. The sword mechanics are like just amazing. And if you use Dolphin Emulator to like hook up a PS4 controller to it, it just feels like you can speed run some of the boss fights. At A tier. Nothing can't be said for Sonic and the Secret Rings. Much like some of the games, I've never really played it, but I do hear it's like hated on by the community. It's like due to glitches and stuff. So, not glitches, but like slow. So C tier for its slow gameplay. Alright, Chronicles, it's F tier. I don't like RPGs besides Prodigy. You know, the math game. Alright, next up are the Sonic Boom games. Now I'm a little bit like I'm instantly putting Sonic Boom in F tier. Rise of Lyric, it's worse than 06. Laggy bullshit, some laggy bullshit that no one even cares about. Fire and Ice, I hear, is like okay, and same thing goes for Shattered Crystal, so they're both C tier. Next up are some games I think are pretty good. Next up is Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations is a solid S tier, but that kind of depends. I love the console version of the game, like PS3, like console/Steam version. As I've played the Steam version before, so a lot. If you remember a past video on my channel that actually has a pretty good amount of views, I did some mods and cheats with that one. But there's another version of Sonic Generations I really like. It's the 3DS version. And the reason's because I honestly don't mind, because it just feels like a lot of fun. Only problem is the special stages suck. Getting the emerald on console is way easier. But anyways, Sonic the Racing Game Saga. And Team Sonic Racing isn't on there, but I would put it in a solid B tier. I can't even get past the level though. Sonic and All Stars Racing, I've played a bit of it, so I'd have to say B tier. And same thing with Transformed. Now here's the last three games. Sonic Lost World, I honestly think is underrated. I don't know why people hate on it. They use a really cool they use a really cool mechanic, and it's honestly just a lot of fun to play. Sonic Mania, A tier. Now look, I love Sonic Mania. It's one of my favorite games, and Sonic Mania Plus is even better. Heck, the game even got decompiled, so now people can play it on their mobile devices. And even my first ever video involved was of me just playing with some laggy ass footage of me playing Sonic Mania. But the thing is, it's just a little, repetitive. It gets boring after a while. Nothing really new about it. Now, last up is Sonic Forces. Now, this is just me. I love Sonic Forces. It's a lot of fun, besides a few stages, like the infinite second bout. And creating an OC is always a lot of fun. So I have to say it goes in A tier. And that's the Sonic tier list for the most part. I'll cover some other games pretty soon, probably another time. But if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it really helps out a lot. And this is Abithegreat1 signing off.